Chaos erupts in Huntsville. Just hours after Latisha discovered the shocking news about Marlo's alleged secret baby, a fiery confrontation spun out of control, and now Stormi's in the hospital. What began as a bombshell revelation quickly turned into a medical emergency, and the truth behind the explosion is even more unbelievable than anyone could have imagined. Buckle up, because the drama has officially hit a whole new level. And believe me, you do not want to miss what really went down behind the scenes. Welcome back, family. Go ahead and grab your tea, because this one is scalding hot. In today's video, we're jumping straight into the explosive fallout between Leticia and Stormi, one that ended with a sudden hospital visit. But that's just the beginning, because buried beneath all this chaos is a jaw-dropping baby scandal tied directly to Mar. So Scott, and the fallout is spreading fast.
Now, if you've been following Love and Marriage Huntsville, you already know tensions between these ladies have been high, but no one saw things escalating to the point where someone needed an emergency room trip. Was it an accident? Was it on purpose? And what exactly did Leticia uncover that made her lose it in front of everyone? We're dissecting it all, from the hushed courtroom chatter to what the cast isn't saying in their confessionals. You won't believe what insiders are now revealing about Stormi's condition and Marceau's supposed cheating. So stay tuned, because by the time this video's over, you'll have the full story, plus a few shocking details that never made it to TV. Let's dive in. It all began with a whisper. That's how one source described the moment Leticia Scott's life started. Crumbling, and this wasn't just any rumor. It was that kind of rumor. The kind that turns a wife into a hurricane, a friendship into a war zone, and a simple dinner party into what looked like a crime scene. According to multiple fan accounts and unconfirmed behind-the-scenes leaks, everything flipped during an off-camera meetup that was never meant to go public. What was supposed to be a casual cast hangout to smooth things over turned into a full-blown showdown the second someone, allegedly a close friend of Stormi, let it slip that Marceau might have a child outside his marriage. Yes, another baby scandal. And this time, the rumors weren't about Martel. Mar's name was front and center. Leticia, who'd been fighting to keep her composure despite mounting suspicions, was reportedly caught completely off guard. Even after all the gossip she'd shut down, she never dreamed it would come from inside her circle, and certainly not through someone like Stormi. Now here's where things get messy. Some insiders insist Stormi didn't mean to spill anything. In fact, sources claim Stormi had shared this secret with someone she trusted, only for it to come spilling out during a fiery argument with Destiny. But when Leticia heard it, that's when all hell broke loose. Eyewitnesses say she shot up so fast, her chair went flying backward. She reportedly jabbed a finger straight at Stormi and screamed, "You supposed to be my sister, and this what? You doing? Behind my back? Spreading rumors about my husband out here with some other woman?" Stormi tried to defend herself, even raising her voice, but it was already too late. The vibe in the room shifted instantly. Every camera was rolling. Cast members stood frozen. And according to insiders, production had to rush in to pull Leticia back. This wasn't just shouting. Leticia allegedly hurled her drink across the table, barely missing Stormi by inches. People on set say Stormi's face went ghost white, and suddenly, she seemed to be having a full-blown panic attack. She clutched her chest, gasping for air before collapsing into a chair, forcing medics nearby to step in. Next thing anyone knew, paramedics were called, and Stormi was whisked away to the hospital for emergency care. And that's when everything got real. But here's the part they don't want you to know. What happened in that ambulance set off yet another bombshell. One that didn't just impact Stormi's health, but has producers rethinking her entire future on the show. As paramedics rushed Stormi out of the chaos, one word buzzed through the cast and crew: liability. What was supposed to be a typical dramatic scene had spiraled into a legitimate medical crisis, and now Stormi's well-being was at stake. Inside the ambulance, Stormi could barely speak, still gripping her chest and whispering, I can't breathe. A production insider revealed paramedics feared it could be a stress-triggered heart issue or a severe anxiety attack. And after the explosive showdown with Leticia, no one was taking risks. Stormi's husband, Courtney Beasley, was called immediately and reportedly sped to the hospital, breaking every traffic law to get there. One crew member later told a blogger, "Courtney looked ready to take on the whole room. You could see the fear, but also the rage." Now, here's where it cuts even deeper. At the hospital, Stormi was quickly hooked up to monitors and given oxygen. While early tests ruled out a heart attack, doctors diagnosed her with acute stress response syndrome, a condition turbocharged by extreme emotional trauma. Essentially, her entire body shut down from a panic attack, triggered by extreme emotional distress. But what really alarmed medical professionals was just how critical her vitals became. For a woman of her age and health background, her blood pressure was dangerously high. Oxygen levels plummeted dangerously low, and through her tears, she kept repeating the same heartbreaking phrase, "I just wanted to help her. I didn't mean for it to come out like that." That statement resonated deeply, not just with fans who later caught wind of it through online leaks, but with those who started questioning. Was Stormi manipulated? Did production deliberately create a powder keg situation just to boost ratings? Meanwhile, back on set, filming came to an abrupt halt. The entire crew was ordered to stand by as legal teams rushed in to assess potential liability. Let's be real. When a cast member ends up hospitalized from on-set stress, whether emotional or physical, that's a major red flag. While some co-stars, like Tiffany and Kika, allegedly reached out privately to check on Stormi, Leticia stayed completely silent. Sources close to her claimed Leticia felt zero remorse. In her mind, Stormi deserved that outburst and needed to learn about boundaries. Even more shocking, Leticia was overheard muttering, "She ain't the victim here. She's the one who put my marriage on blast." Fans immediately split into warring camps. One Twitter user fired off, "Stormi keeps it 100. Leticia's just mad because the truth hurts." Another clapped back, "Stormi should have stayed in her lane. You don't meddle in marriages and act shocked when it blows up." But amid the chaos, one fact became undeniable. Stormi's health crisis was terrifyingly real, and it almost cost her everything on the show. Then, guess who showed up unannounced at the hospital and sent shockwaves through the situation? Yep, someone no one saw coming. And their surprise appearance completely shifted Stormi's perspective moving forward.
As Stormi lay in her hospital bed physically weak, emotionally wrecked, the last thing she expected was visitors. Especially not this one. Courtney had just stepped out to talk to a nurse when the door slowly opened and in walked Melody Shari. That Melody, her co-star, former friend turned foe, arguably the most divisive woman on Love and Marriage, Huntsville. For a second, Stormi wondered if she was imagining things, but no, Melody was really there. No cameras, no producers, just her in sunglasses and a hoodie, carrying all the unsaid history between them. According to an insider familiar with the moment, Melody didn't speak at first. She just walked over, pulled up a chair, and sat beside Stormi's bed. The silence between them wasn't awkward, it was loaded, heavy with past tensions, unspoken words, and maybe, just maybe, the first step toward peace.
"I heard what happened," Melody finally spoke, her voice barely more than a whisper. "I just came to say, I'm sorry." Wait, what? Melody? Apologizing to Stormi? Now let's break this down because nothing between these two is ever simple. Their relationship has been a non-stop roller coaster. Allies one season, strangers the next. They've built empires, raised families, and weathered public scandals. But there's always been that undercurrent of rivalry, suspicion, and betrayals. Left unspoken. So why now? Why would Melody choose Stormi's lowest moment to appear? Here's what we've pieced together. Just days before the hospital drama, Melody had her own off-camera blow-up with Leticia. Insiders claim they nearly came to blows over explosive allegations about Marceau's frequent business trips to Atlanta. Melody apparently believed Stormi's clash with Latisha, though messy, was long overdue, finally exposing the cracks in Leticia's perfect wife facade. But more importantly, Melody knows exactly how it feels to be emotionally wrecked by this show's chaos. Remember her very public breakdowns during her custody battles? She's lived this nightmare. So when she walked into that hospital room, this wasn't for cameras. It was about real redemption. Stormi's reaction? She broke down instantly. Not dramatic wails, but quiet, relieved tears, the kind that scream, "Finally, someone gets it." "I didn't come to make things worse," Melody continued. "I just needed you to know you're not alone." Chills. This was raw, unfiltered humanity. The kind love and marriage Huntsville fans may never get to see aired, and maybe that's the point. The realest moments often happen when the camera's cut. But don't think the drama ended there. As Melody left, she allegedly walked past producers heatedly debating how to handle the fallout. Rumor has it, network. Execs are reassessing certain cast members' futures, and yes, Leticia's name topped that list. Yet none of that compares to what exploded just 48 hours later. Someone in Marceau's inner circle dropped a confession to a local blogger, one that could blow this scandal wide open. Brace yourselves, because what we're about to reveal might just be the final nail in Marceau and Leticia's crumbling reputation. The rumors? The speculation? Forget that. This confirmation came from someone no one expected. Not a hater, not a blogger, but no, this time, the bombshell came straight from inside Marceau's inner circle. Let's rewind for context. After Stormi's hospitalization and the explosive events leading up to it, social media lost its collective mind. Fans were dissecting every clip, every glance, even dusty reunion footage for hidden clues. But behind the scenes, a Huntsville blogger with serious production connections got a phone call, one that changed everything. Here's what we know. A woman claiming to be a former employee of Marceau's construction company, yes, the one tied to all his business ventures, dropped a confidential bombshell. According to her, the side baby rumors aren't just gossip. They're rooted in real incidents, real cover-ups, and real intimidation. This employee, we'll call her Tasha to protect her identity, alleges she personally witnessed Marceau entering and leaving a private OB/GYN clinic with a woman who wasn't Leticia. But wait, it gets worse. She claims Marceau also arranged a lease for a discreet apartment near his offices, the same address linked to the woman allegedly carrying, or who's already had, his child. He was always sneaky about it, Tasha revealed. Paid everything in cash, only visited after hours or on business trips. But the creepiest part? The woman looked just like Leticia, younger, quieter, but almost identical. It was unsettling. Let that sink in. If true, if Marceau fathered a child outside his marriage, paid hush money, and set up secret housing, then Leticia's meltdown at Stormi's event wasn't just drama. It might have been a desperate smokescreen to hide the real scandal brewing. Yet here's where it spirals. Another insider, this time a production source, claims Marceau begged producers to cut certain scenes this season. He allegedly didn't want the baby storyline aired, even offering to juice up other plots as a distraction.
But the network, they're reportedly done playing along. They know scandal sells, and with fans already questioning the show's authenticity, this could be the ratings goldmine they need. As for Leticia, whispers suggest she knew pieces of the truth but stayed quiet. Why? Image is everything, an anonymous source spilled. Brand deals matter. For her, this marriage is business, not love. If she leaves now, she loses her storyline, her leverage, and the financial perks she's grown accustomed to. But the burning question isn't if the baby exists, it's when we'll get proof. And more urgently, how long until that proof becomes the season's explosive climax?